You can't see the state of the corner of my bed, but this is ridiculous. Someone needs to stop me. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Maria, and in today's video we are going to be going through every single book that I have bought since the beginning of September. So 2 months of book buying. And I'm meant to be on a book buying ban, but do I know what that actually means? I don't think so. We're just going to go through all of these books and we're going to do a little book haul, a collective book haul of the last 2 months. Yeah, I shouldn't be allowed to have money because this is bad. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, like, subscribe, comment, let me know. This is ridiculous because genuinely it's the fact that once I've bought all of these, I'm not even happy. I need to buy more. We're just gonna get straight into this. We've got a lot of books to go through. We'll do a final count up at the end. Future me will edit in a number, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. We've got a mix of fantasy and romance, and I'm excited. I love all these books. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't, but yeah, we're gonna just get straight into it. I don't know what to start with. Okay, let's start with some of the romance. Just because the piles are kind of easier to get to. First of all, I have some of the books in the Silver Pines series by Paisley Hope. So I have Training the Heart and Riding the High. These are books 2 and 3. I think they're the most recent ones that are out. I don't believe the 4th book is out yet, but I am so far really enjoying this series. I've only read up to Training the Heart, but I cannot wait to go into Riding the High. It is on my November TBR and I am so excited. By the time this video comes out, it might be read. I keep saying it, but this is the closest I've gotten to the Chestnut Springs vibes, the feels that it gave me. Even Elsie Silver herself has not been able to recreate that feeling with Rose Hill or her first series. That is quite impressive, I'd say, and I definitely recommend to check these books out because they're just a silly fun time. Then we have Wildcard, which is the 4th book in the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. She has now completed this series and we are moving into a different town, a different series, and I am so excited. I hope the next one gives more. I don't know, I just haven't connected to this series the same, but I have read this and I did really enjoy it. I don't know, I just need her to recreate the feeling of Chestnut Springs, but is that possible? Because nothing is going to be Chestnut Springs. Do you know what I mean? This was still very good. I'd say it's probably my favourite in the series. This and then Wild Love and then Wild Side and then Wild Eyes. That's my rough order, but I don't know. Then we have If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. This was a newer release. Isn't this the most autumn coded book you've ever seen? I've heard amazing things about this as well. Even BK Borison loves it. So I'm very excited to go into this. I need to read it before autumn is over. And I just, seriously, I've heard such amazing things. And I'd pick this up right now if I was in the romance mood over a fantasy mood. But I'm not, so I will pick this up soon, I think in November, if not the end of this month. So I'm very excited. Again, I've heard such amazing things. We then have He's Not My Type by Megan Quinn. I read this, I think in December last year. So fun, just a laugh, just a fun giggly time, do you know what I mean? I have such a love-hate relationship with Megan Quinn. I've read 5 or 6 of her books and I've only really loved 2 of them. The others are very forgettable for me. I absolutely adored this. I ate it up and I finally have the physical copy, my trophy for my shelf. I loved this. It was so fun, such a good romance, and I just loved it. This pile was actually just insane. Sorry, what? The Sinners Anonymous series. So we have all 4 books: Sinners Anonymous, Sinners Condemned, Sinners Consumed, and Sinners Atone, which is her most recent release. Yes, you best believe I bought this immediately. It has been years since I read the first 3 and I absolutely adored this. And I actually really enjoyed Sinners Atone. I've seen such mixed reviews, but I adored it. It gave nothing, but it gave everything, and it was just so much fun to read. I ate this up and I finally have my trophies. It took me so long to get them, but I have all of them and they are on my favourites shelf because I adored them. I love them all and I need to reread the series ASAP, and I hope we don't have to wait too long until we get the second book for this duet. And then, would you believe it if I told you I bought all of these as well? So we have The Predator, The Reaper, The Emperor, The Finisher, The Annihilator and The Syndicator. These are all the Darkverse books by Runix, and I have only read the first two, and I bought the first two separately, okay? I bought The Reaper and The Predator because I wanted them as my trophies because I'd read them and I really loved them, and then I saw that they were going out of print because they had been picked up to be traditionally published, as in they are being traditionally published in the next month or two, and I was like, oh my god, are these going to go out of print? Are the next 4 books going to go out of print? So I ran to buy them and now I have a big hole in my bank account. I actually cannot wait to continue this series. It's very highly loved and I adored the first 2 books, so I have very high hopes and high expectations for the next 4. Although I will say the reviews for The Syndicator, this chunky old book here, the last one, they aren't the best, but I think this is like a mix of everyone's point of views, and also the text is huge actually. Then we move on to my last pile of romances by Victoria Wilder. I had seen the second book specifically everywhere, so I just decided this is gonna be fun. I just know this cover and I'd seen the second one. I think I saw it loads on my Kindle whenever I'd look at the sort of like search page where it just gives you loads of recommendations. So I saw that and I just love this cover. The type of book I'd love, and I know you should judge a book by its cover, but I do. I haven't read this yet, but I am looking forward to reading this, and it is on my November TBR. I'm very excited and I think it's going to be one that I enjoy, although I have heard mixed things about it. Then we have Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This was the first book I read by Ali Hazelwood, and I literally bought this like 2 weeks ago, maybe no, the week, I don't know. But I actually really enjoyed this. It was everything I needed at the moment I picked it up, and I will say the first like 30 to 40% of the book was quite slow, but once it picked up, it did really pick up, and it was so easy to just fly through. I picked it up I think Monday evening and I finished it yesterday, so Tuesday morning. I stayed up until 3 AM reading it. It was so good, and I really want to read all of Ali Hazelwood's books. I know she is throwing them out at the moment, but yeah, I'm just so excited. I specifically want to go into Bride. I love the vibes in this world and I want to see the side characters have their own book, knowing that they do have their own book. Yeah, that's definitely the next one I want to go into. And then I have Problematic Summer Romance to read as well. Would you believe it if I said I have another romance series? I bought The Hollow Boys. This is really unhealthy, but I kid you not, I think about a week before I bought these books, I would non-stop see these books. They would be everywhere, all over my TikTok For You page, all over my Instagram reels. They were everywhere. I read The Lies We Steal, loved it, so I thought, why don't I purchase all 5 books? And I have read book 2, so The Truths We Burn, and I loved both of these. So I have 3 more of these to go. If you don't know, the Hollow Boys series is The Lies We Steal, The Truths We Burn, part 1 and part 2 of The Blood We Crave, and then The Oath We Give. I'm very excited to continue this series. I think I'm going to jump back into this series very soon. I can't wait for Thatcher. I cannot wait for Thatcher and Lyra. Seriously, I'm so excited. This is kind of irrelevant, but I really want to get the Legacy of Gods series as well. There are so many books I want to pick up and purchase, but I think after this I actually do need to put myself on a book buying ban because my TBR is crazy. Then we move on to my fantasies. I think I've got less fantasy than romance, but I'm not sure. So we have Anathema by Kerry Lake. I actually wanted to get the indie edition of this, but by the time I went to buy it and was thinking about buying it, it had been picked up for traditional publishing because I read Nocticadia and I have the indie edition of that, and I just wanted them to match, but it's fine. I don't really care that much. I just really want to read this. I've heard such phenomenal things. I think it's going to be perfect for the next few months because the actual, like, I mean, the cover says it all. The vibes of this are so here for autumn, winter. It's giving spooky and I love a spooky gothic read. And we have Fairytale. Again, I wanted the indie edition of this. This is like a really weird edition. I don't know, it's been picked up, but I don't know if it's traditionally published because this is not your standard traditional edition, but it is by Atria. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's like this really, it's like a hardback size, but it's a very floppy paperback. I'm not complaining, but I did want the indie edition of this. I did love the cover, but I was again too late, so I had it on pre-order for ages, and I'm so excited to read this. I'm honestly, the only thing that's stopping me from this is knowing I probably need to go into this with all my brain power, and I've heard that you're gonna be confused for like 90% of this book because you are meant to be confused. Like, nothing is gonna make sense until the very last moment. And whilst I'm very excited for that, I feel like I need all my brain power for it. And it's a long book, and I feel like it's going to take me a while to get through. So I'm kind of saving it until I'm in the mood for that. Then we have the Flame and Thorns series. So Empire of Flame and Thorns, The Throne of Ice and Blood, and Court of Lies and Deceit. I think there's going to be 2 more books in this series. I wanted these for a while, and I had no huge intention of buying the actual paperbacks until I had read them on my Kindle, just in case I didn't like them. But I follow this person on social media, on Instagram, who makes like these posts when a load of books are going out of print. So I started following her, and I saw that these were going out of print, and I just love these covers so much. And I looked on the author's page, and there was something mentioned about the new paperbacks that are, or hardbacks, I don't know what it was going to be, but they were going to have a slight different look as the cover. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy all 3. And it was also said that the next 2 books are going to be indie published for a month, and then they will be taken off. So I'm going to buy those when they come as well, because I need my matching sets. We then have the Second Death of Locke, which is my most recent addition to my shelves. I am so unbelievably excited for this book. It has been so hyped up, so talked about, and I'm so excited. I love a night-based fantasy, so I'm very excited for this, and it's so hyped up. It's a debut novel as well, so I'm very excited about that. And this cover is honestly a contender for the prettiest of the year. I'm going to be picking this up very soon, again November to year. Also, I'm so shocked that I saw it in store. I didn't expect to, because I've heard that there was issues with stock and just having not enough, I guess, especially because the Waterstones I went into was quite a small one, although it had such good selection. Most of the Waterstones near me don't have any sort of like sections for different genres, so like it's all under fiction, especially romance. They never have a genre for romance, it's just under fiction. I found it, so very pleased, and will be reading this soon. Vicious by V. Schwab. I am so unbelievably excited for this. I'm so excited for this because I loved A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm so excited to read more by V. Schwab. I literally want to read her backlist, to put it simply. Every single book she's written, I do really want to get to. I've heard this is not a finished series. I think there's another book, but I don't know if there's the 3rd book yet, so we will see. But I've heard so many incredible things about this, and I cannot wait to pick it up at some point and get back into her writing and worlds. They are seriously magical. She has an absolute way with words, and it just sucks you in, and you do not want to put the book down. Then we have House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. I am sure when I read the back of this, when I pre-ordered it, it was different to what it is, but I don't know. It sounds good either way, and I've heard such good things about it, and I think it's going to be a perfect sort of palette cleanser between fantasies, because it's kind of like it's a romancy, but I don't know. I don't know whether it's more fantasy or romance side, but I'm very excited. It's so short. I feel like there's a massive trend with all the books I've bought, and you're going to hear me say it time and time again, but did I pick this up because this entire series is being traditionally published and I have the indie editions? Yeah, I did. Am I not going to be able to get the rest of the series in indie editions because they're not being published that way anymore? Yeah. So was there any point of me getting this for the indie edition? Literally no. So we have City of Smoke and Brimstone. This is the 4th book in the House of Devils series. Kayla Edwards has finally been picked up for traditional publishing. I can't remember who it's with. It might be Simon & Schuster. Honestly, I'm so happy for all these authors who have been picked up for traditional publishing, especially when you know a series deserves to be in bookstores everywhere. And I had to buy myself my indie edition to match my self-published ones. I haven't read beyond book 1, but I'm very excited to see where this story goes. I know it's going to be pain. I literally know it's going to be pain, just pain. So we will see, guys. We'll see. But these are chunky books. They are seriously thick. So I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but again, it was just one to get because they are going out of print. I actually don't think you can get them anymore. I think they're gone. Yeah. See all formats. Yeah, they're gone. Then we have another series that I picked up in the editions for. Then we have another series that I picked up because they are being traditionally published. Now I don't know if the last book is coming out as indie before it completely goes and changes. It's coming out in December, so I'm not sure. But that is the Compelling Fate saga. I have books 1, 2 and 3 so far. I bought all 3. Obviously there's one more to come out. Again, I don't know if it's going to be self-published before so people can complete their series like this, or if we're going to have to do a traditionally published version. But I'm so excited for these. I saw Emmy talking about them. Right. She read them and she would not stop raving about them. Of course it puts it on everyone's radar. Of course she's watched by loads of people. We love her. I knew from the moment she started talking about them that these were going to be picked up at some point in the future. I feel like I'll be able to binge this entire series in a week because based on what she said, it just sounds so good. So I'm very excited and I just cannot wait. She's got another series that's being picked up. Also, I want to say that's her debut series. We then have The Wolf King, which literally arrived on my doorstep today. It's only the 22nd of October, so I think Waterstones actually sent this out early. But this is my exclusive edition. We have The Sprayed Edges, which I'm actually adoring by Waterstones. We have the Naked Hardback, which is kind of fun. And then we have, if I get it out, the end pages are also... I'm very excited for this. I feel like it, depending on how I feel a bit later, it might be the next book I pick up. The one thing that's holding me back from starting this series is purely the fact that it's not complete, and I believe it's going to be a trilogy. I have The Wolf King and The Night Prince on my Kindle because they're both still on KU, but don't know when the 3rd book is coming out. And for some reason, the fact that it's not got a release date yet is really like putting me on the fence about it, because I feel like I'm actually going to adore this series and I'm so hesitant because I know waiting is going to be torture if I do. Then the final book I have is Alchemized, Waterstones exclusive again. Honestly, these are gorgeous. I am so desperate for this. I literally don't know what I'll do if I don't read it soon. It's on my November TBR. I just need to know what happens because I have Manacled, I haven't read it. I feel like it's going to be a god tier book. I'm scared, but I'm so excited to actually see what happens and what the changes are. It's going to be picked up soon, but I feel like it's going to take me a while to get through because it is over 1,000 pages. Yeah. But that is it. That is my entire book haul. I will again put up a total count now for the amount of books I've bought in the last 2 months. It's been chaos and I feel like it's not going to stop here, but this is actually insane. I think I need to cut myself off, but I don't want to. I've got so many books I want to buy. That is it. I think I need to put myself on a book buying ban. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, let me know, and I will see you all in the next one. Maybe get through some of these books that I've bought before I buy some new ones. But yeah, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.